So I'm looking at SOS. I plan to do a video on this ticker tomorrow. It's a pretty popular stock. The reason it's popular is because it mines Ethereum and Bitcoin. So any company that mines crypto, especially Bitcoin, is really popular. But it is a little confusing trying to put together all the information on the company. And I'm seeing if anybody has more information about them. So far, they started mining crypto this year. They mined 132 Bitcoin and 1,853 Ethereum. That's as of June 30th. So I'm sure they mined more since June 30th. But most of the revenue comes from commodity trading, which I was a little surprised that they did that. So here's a breakdown of their revenue for the first 6 months. Insurance marketing is 13 million, that's 7%. Then mining crypto, 15 million, that's 8%. Then telecom call center, bank call center, and SaaS, software as a service. Those are pretty much nothing. The three combined for under $1 million, or about $1 million. But almost all of it is from commodity trading, $155 million, 84% of their revenue. So it looks like they're doing really well because their revenue in 2020 was 50 million, which was down from 2018. But the trailing 12-month revenue is 225 million, which is 4 times 2020 revenue. It's mainly because they just started this commodity trading business. So it looks really good. And let me know in the comments, does anybody follow this company or have any information? Yeah, they just started in April, the commodity trading. So those only 2 months because the financials are out as of 6/30. So it's April, May, June. So maybe 3 months. So it trades, and it's hard to put together financials from non-US companies, especially companies that I can't read the language in, so that they convert it. But I pulled whatever I could find. So they trade resin, mineral resin, soybean, wheat, sesame, liquid sulfur, and latex. So it just finds buyers and sellers, and they generate revenue from the price difference. So it looks like it's like an arbitrage kind of thing. They just try to find 2 parties and match them up, and then they take how do they get the revenues recognized after products have been delivered and the title to the goods and risk has been transferred. So right, so it generates revenue from price difference between the buyer and seller. So if somebody is looking to pay, just like a stock, if somebody is looking to buy a stock, in this case, a commodity, for $10, and someone is looking to sell it I have to think about it, but so if somebody's wants to buy it for 10, if somebody's looking to sell it for 9, they would take the $10 from the buyer and pocket $1 and give $9 to the seller. And then they would transfer whatever commodity they bought from the seller to the buyer. And the buyer will be happy because they wanted to pay 10, and the seller's happy they wanted to sell for 9. It's just typical arbitrage, which is nothing wrong with that. What's up? Not financial advice. Not financial advice. Thanks for joining. Thanks for commenting, being the first commenter. You get your revenue breakdown info? What is that? What do you mean you get your revenue breakdown info? For this company? You talking about this, the revenue breakdown? So I don't know if you're familiar with arbitrage. It's just like when you buy and sell a security, but you try to take advantage of price differences from the same security. Like in this case, or what website? I just went to this. I don't know where I found it, to tell you the truth. Just Google. Yeah, it was hard to find. Let me share the screen. Yeah, I found there's, I guess it's from the company. I found their second quarter information, and they give a breakdown of the first half of 2020 versus the first half of 2021. And their revenue went up a lot. But they don't receive any money from this business. Like, their revenue went up 184 million, but they didn't receive any of that cash. Maybe Google like SOS Limited. Yeah, SOS is down, and I know a lot of people are really bullish on SOS, and I get it, but I'm definitely not trying to be bearish. I'm just trying to understand. It's really confusing. Like, just trying to understand what they do. Like when you think of a business, it's so easy to understand what they do. Like, if you want to be able to explain what a company does in like one sentence, we're Tesla, we sell electric cars. We're Coca-Cola, we sell soda. Like, we're McDonald's, we sell burgers and fast food. we're SOS. We mine crypto. We have call centers. We do commodity trading. We have an insurance. Yeah, if you're a huge conglomerate, you're going to have a lot of different companies underneath you, which I get. They're a small company, so I just, it's really confusing what they do. They do a lot of things, I guess. So this big revenue increase in the commodity trading, which looks great, but they didn't get any cash for that. It's all non-cash. So they lost $339 million of cash in the first half of 2021 because all the cash they received from the commodity trading, they just booked a receivable on their balance sheet, which is right here, receivables. 196 million they booked in receivables. Yeah, I saw that by Hindenburg. They were trying to say they try to visit the headquarters and it was a hotel, and so I'm not sure about that stuff. I think that was kind of made up because I don't know. I mean, I couldn't like even confirm or deny any of that stuff, but it seemed like they just made it up to try to scare people to short the stock. I mean, I have to trust it's a legitimate company. I mean, anything can. I guess it could be fake, but it seems like they show pictures on the website of the mines they bought, the rigs they bought, and they show receipts, and so it seems like they do have a pretty big mining operation. But that's just a small piece of their revenue at this point. And the thing is, I think the mining is so expensive because you have to buy all the machinery and equipment. So it's really expensive. So they're probably not making any money yet with mining. And of course, it's volatile. Bitcoin can change a lot in price, and Ethereum. So it seems like insurance is probably a lot more, and insurance marketing is probably a lot higher margin business. But I also read the rigs, like the mining rigs, are getting more expensive because what's it called? There's a semiconductor chip shortage. Yeah, right. Good luck with SOS in China. So there's a chip shortage. So they're trying to use chips. They only have so many chips that they could use to build these rigs. And they need chips for tons of things like electric vehicles, computers, phones. So the rigs, like the mining rigs that these companies own, are going up in price. Like it is an asset. Like if you buy a mining rig, if you spend $1 million for these rigs to mine Bitcoin or mine whatever crypto, that's an asset. That's worth something. And if those rigs go up like 5x, 10x because you can't find them anywhere, so there's value there too. So that's something to consider also. So but the stock is really struggling. It was yeah, I mean, I wouldn't touch this company. Not that I have anything reason, like I just generally don't invest in these. Anything under $1 billion, probably would never invest in. Unless maybe if I knew like the CEO personally, maybe I would invest in the company, but it's too risky, anything under $1 billion. But the stock was over $100. Does anybody know why? What happened? It must have been a reverse stock split, right? Because how could it be over $100 back then? It's a penny stock. Let me see if reverse stock split. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely nothing wrong with investing in these micro cap and small cap stocks. Just don't put more than like maybe 10% of your money into it, because the likelihood of you losing your money is pretty high. Kind of like playing lotto or playing slot machines. The probability of you losing is high. Probability of winning is low, but if you do win, you can potentially win 100 times your money. But that's pretty unlikely. But you could make a lot of money on momentum if like I'm sure a lot of people made money who bought it in 2020 or the beginning of 2021. The stock shot up over 15. I'm sure a ton of people made money if they got out before it came down. Yeah, so I don't even know how to value this company. I have no idea. It's just like I'm still trying to figure that out. And it's amazing they actually have their statement of cash flows on this reporting thing, which is amazing, because usually companies just have the balance sheet and income statement. They actually have a statement of cash flows. Yeah, a lot of people look at the shares outstanding. I mean, generally the shares outstanding will increase for a growth company because they need cash. They need money to grow the business. And the shares outstanding would generally decrease for mature company. But it's not good. Like shares increasing or decreasing, there's no positive or negative with either of those. It could be positive or negative. You just have to look at other factors. Like if your shares are decreasing, people like, that's good because my shares are worth more. But what if they're buying back shares when they're at the highest price? And then when they need cash, the shares tank, and then they issue more stock at the lower stock price. So that was bad that they bought back shares and wasted all that cash. They could have used all that cash for something else, maybe to acquire another company instead of losing it on their stock. And buying back shares can be good or bad. So yeah, so in the first half of 2021, they had $20 million loss. Then they have to add back $5 million to depreciation. Let me look at my Excel file. Maybe it's easy to look at because I put it closer. 18 million of stock-based compensation. And they invested 100 million in inventory. So they had a cash outflow of 100 million, which is probably the rigs, the crypto rigs or the crypto computers that they purchased. That's probably what the inventory is. Although that should go into CapEx. But where's their, this is, the purchase of PP&E 34 million. That's where the rig should go. So it could be in the inventory too, but I don't know. Of course, this is if it was the if it was a 10K, I can get all the info, but I can't really get that much info from this company's financials. And this is the most alarming thing: $196 million of receivables, which is more than the revenue they've generated, which doesn't make sense. Like, how do you? What was their revenue? Oh, it's right here. So they had 184 million of revenue in the first half of 2021, and they extended credit of 196 million. So how do you? So thanks a lot. Appreciate it. That's really nice. So how do you? So when you sell a product or service, you might receive cash or you may extend credit. So if you extend credit, that means you're just saying you can pay me in the future, and they may pay you in a few weeks or a few months. So I'm not really sure how you sell $184 million of products or services, and you extend 196 million of revenue. Maybe there's something else in there besides receivable. Okay, so prepayments and other assets. I don't know. 12 million of tangibles, 13 million of payables. But any other companies anybody want to look at? Any So yeah, they have 132 Bitcoin at 40,000 per Bitcoin. That's $5.3 million. But Bitcoin's volatile, so it could go way up. It could double or triple. Of course, it could go down as well. So GAN Limited. You like these small cap companies. Revenue looks really good. It doubles, goes up a little bit, and it goes up a lot, and more than doubles. The negative net income, except in 2019, which is interesting. It doesn't look so bad. What do they do? Oh, gambling? That's a high margin business. The only problem with companies like this is that a lot of people don't buy gambling stocks. Well, 52% institutional ownership. That's pretty high. Higher than I thought. Yeah, people. Well, obviously, some people invest in gambling stocks, but the population of investors who invest in gambling stocks is a lot smaller than a population of people who invest in like energy stocks or healthcare stocks, or stocks that are good for the environment, ESG stocks. Prime Cap. Is this a SPAC? This company? No, it's not a SPAC. Doesn't look like a SPAC. Well, the thing with small caps, they're volatile. So it moves a lot. It went over 30. It started out at 10. I mean, in only a few months, it tripled in price. And then it was cut in half from the peak. I'm trying to get better at technical analysis. Not that I really think it works or anything. I just would like to know more about it, so at least I understand it. But yeah, it looks like the floor is at 15. It looks like that's the what's it called? The resistance point. That's the word. 15 is the resistance point. Let's see if we can identify anything. I wish. It's so annoying. It's up here. It's hard to see. So yeah, there's a lot of volatility. Look how big these wicks are. Lots of downside. Why did it drop from 30? Udar, what's up? Thanks for joining. So the way the candlestick works, I don't know if everybody's familiar. So on this day, which was 8/13, the stock opened at 17.18 and it closed at 16.01 about. If it's red, that means it went down. If it's green, it went up. So in this case, the stock opened at 16.10 and it closed 16.93 because it went up that day. It was green. When it's red, that means it opened up here and closed down here. And the wick. So for this one, it opened 15:05 and it closed 13:55. But it did trade outside of that range. It actually traded down to a little over 13 sometime throughout the day. But it actually closed here. So that's why the candle's here. And look at this one. Sheesh. Look how tight that open and close was, but all that trading outside. I don't know what this stuff means, really. I mean, I'm just explaining it, but I don't know how that gives you information, whether the stock is good or bad or anything. I don't see how this gives you any information at all. I could definitely paint a story how this gives lots of information to identify a buyer or sell, but I could be like other guys who just make this stuff up so people watch the videos, but it's meaningless because this is what they do. They say they use all these buzzwords and terms like they'll say okay, here it is. What are the words they use? What do they call it? Like there's triangles, there's open. Hey Ben, what's up? Yeah, I have a video when I hit 10,000 subs. I showed my portfolio. I'm going to do that at 20,000 also. I did at 1,000, 10,000, a bull flag. You let me know the terms. I got to watch more of those videos. Like they'll draw these. How do you draw? Okay, they'll draw these. Come on. Yeah, the moving averages. I look at moving averages too, but like they say, oh, this is the resistance level, and this is the resistance level. So right now, it's not going to go below 15, unless it does, of course, which it can. So now it's trading in this range. I wish I could draw on this. I don't know. Oh, here we go. Okay, like they'll go, okay, here's this pattern. Here's the mouth pattern, which means the stock is going to go here. It's just stupid. I watch these videos. It makes no sense. It's like, and now you see this line right here. They just draw lines, and this pattern indicates that the stock is in a bull run now, and it's going to go. It should go in this circle right here. Although it could go in this circle too. And then it's so, yeah. But I do want to learn about it, so at least I can make a good opinion rather than just bashing it. But I just can't imagine how this can predict anything. Because a lot of times, if you go back and look at the videos, I'm sure it was way off sometimes. I guess they're just trying to get a probability based on the price movements from the past. What's the probability of it going up or down, and what range it's going to go into? But the past price movement is irrelevant for the future, because the stock has no the stock doesn't revert back to the past. It's not like it's just really based on the future buys and calls, the future buy orders and sell orders of investors. And that's based on, read the book Candlestick Trading Bible. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna look into that. I gotta learn more about it. But I'm sure these guys have predicted price movements, but just as often they're off on the price movements. Like if you predict enough situations, kind of like my videos, if I do enough videos, I'm going to be right a lot. But the purpose is to kind of give you all the information for you to make that decision. I mean, of course, I try not to put too much of my opinion in it, but of course I have my own opinion on things, which could be way different from your opinion or way different from reality. But I talked to this guy, the CEO of a cryptocurrency mining company, and we already had a call together a couple of times, so I think we're going to do a live stream. I'm trying to get the dates. We're trying to coordinate the dates, but I hope that goes well. I'm just going to go through my Excel spreadsheet with him, and then he can talk more about it, obviously. Yeah, I would like to have someone else here, because it's kind of rough talking, like coming up with things to say. I have a hard time with that. So even if the person doesn't say anything, just having someone would probably be a lot easier. Because because I see some of these YouTubers, they just keep talking. But it's a little kind of awkward. But one guy, this guy Nick, he responded to my post about if anybody wanted to do a live stream with me. So maybe in a couple of weeks, I'm going to do a live stream with him. But I don't know. I think learning the financials and what the numbers mean is more useful. Yeah, it's a lot more useful. What's up, Asman? Yeah, that really tells it all. I mean, like I said, you could use patterns and technical analysis, and you could get lucky, like the things you learn are true, like this particular pattern and the price goes up. But that could just be with anything. Like if I roll a die enough times, I'm going to probably be right a bunch of times, 1 out of 6 times. The debt ceiling? Oh, Evergrande? Yeah, I looked at that today for a little bit. I'm not too familiar with. Yeah, they say it could be like the Lehman of China. But they really make things much, much worse. The media makes things 100 times worse than it is. Everybody knows that, right? Like the world's ending. But that's the media's job, to kind of like convey an extreme story. Like if it's raining outside, they'll try to find the area that has the most rainfall, and they're going to make it seem like a hurricane. Like everything's as extreme as possible just to get the viewers. But that's not to say everything is you should just ignore. I'm just saying a lot of things just don't ever evolve to too much. Only 2 years ago, real estate over the top of transfer, which was this. So Evergrande. So what's the issue? He owns a lot of real estate, and he has a lot of debt in his company. So if he defaults, I guess it's like Wells Fargo defaulting. So if you have a mortgage with Wells Fargo, wouldn't that be good if Wells Fargo defaulted and you had a mortgage with them? What's my favorite movie? I guess train spotting. Yeah, I know. I've been hearing that for 10 years now that we're going to have it's going to be worse than the Great Depression. Right. And that's true. That's a good point. Another bank will assume the debt from Wells Fargo. But we had a mortgage crisis in 2008. That's because individuals couldn't pay their mortgage. And then it just created all these defaults in the in mortgage-backed securities, and also the derivatives, the CDOs, and so if this company defaults, are they saying a lot of people who have homes in China will default? Is that the problem? Yeah, I don't think we can have another Great Depression. I don't think it's possible. Because that's how the FDIC got started. There was the banks all defaulted, so people lost all their money. Now if the bank defaults, the FDIC insures them for up to $250,000. Evergrande is the second largest housing company in China. I imagine the largest will buy them up. So I guess the problem is Evergrande has $300 billion of debt, and if they can't pay the debt, then the companies that invested in them won't get the money, and they may default on their debt, and it's just a trickle-down effect. I guess like when a company defaults on their debt here, then like if we all lent our money to a bank and we got paid an interest rate, like we got a bond, and that bank defaulted, we may not get paid because I don't think there's no insurance if a bond defaults. So I guess all the funds that invested in this company will not be able to pay its investors, and then yeah, so 300 billion is a lot of money. So who is Evergrande's creditors? I imagine the Bank of China is probably a big creditor to this company. One of China's Evergrande Group's main lenders has made a provision for losses on its portion. The Chinese banks managers reported the first time show how financial institutions in the world epitomized China's freewheeling era of borrowing and building with nearly 300 billion. right. So like this bank, the third is it the country's number 3 lender by assets? So this company, Agricultural Bank of China, is going to have to post a lot of losses when they don't get paid for all the money it lent to Evergrande. Its stock will obviously tank and go down. So I guess that could have a pretty bad effect. But that's part of doing business. In the short term, maybe it'll take a year or so for things to kind of pass through, but they'll get through it. I mean, it's a big economy. You don't want to see $300 billion of losses. China's total debt is $7 trillion. And this company's $300 billion. So yeah, so it sucks, but I mean, what can you do? How about a video to know more about you? Yeah, that's a good idea. I should do a video about that. I always think nobody cares. Like, I even like when I try with my introductions, like I never talk about like anything personal or anything because I feel like nobody really cares. But yeah, maybe I should do that. I mean, I don't mind. Like, I have plenty of. I don't mind answering any questions. Like, there's nothing. You will have so many people defaulting because so many Americans depend on some form of government paycheck or subsidies. The pandemic just made Americans more dependent on the government. Yeah, it has. Yeah, the pandemic made it worse. I don't know. I just don't see. I don't see like things getting that bad. I just don't. But I mean, I could be wrong, of course. It just like, and I get what people mean by we have a lot of debt, but our companies are making so much money. Like the profits from all these companies, we have such huge companies in America that and the amount of money they generate. So it's not like, yeah, if a lot of these big companies start defaulting, like these big banks, these big tech companies, they start losing money, defaulting on their debt, but they're making so much money. We're generating a lot of money. It seems like we're healthy. I do see a tapering. Yeah, and I wish they would. I wish they would raise interest rates because I think they're way too low. But I just don't see why it would end up in a depression or even a recession. The recession made sense when the mortgage crisis happened in 2008. That made sense because you had millions of people who defaulted on their mortgages, and then that wasn't the problem. It was all the derivative, like the CDOs, the CDO squares, all those mortgage-backed security that made it so much more leveraged. The government is monetizing debt. I mean, that's what that's what we do. Don't we always? We're always running up debt to fund different projects and to fund our well, for what's it called, the pandemic, we had to fund all these people who were out of work. But yeah, well, we'll see what happens. I mean, I've been hearing over 10 years now the same thing, and the stock market keeps going up. So I don't. Maybe the stock market will drop 30. It did drop actually in last March, like 30-40%, but it came back right up. So it could drop, but it's going to come back up. Like the Great Recession, it took about a year and a half to come back. Okay, I'm gonna get going. Actually, I'm getting tired. Yeah, thanks for joining. Let me know if you have any ideas for a live stream. I have some things in the works, so hopefully I get those going. Okay, I'll see you. Ben, I'll see you Saturday and Sunday. I'm going to be at the store. Whoa. What? What am I waiting for? Did you have a question? Yeah, this SOS company, it's really confusing. I don't know. The more I learn about it, and I don't want to sound like a bear, but the worse it sounds. It just sounds awful. And I don't want to sound like I'm trying to like short the stock or anything. It just really sounds awful. But I'm going to try to be optimistic in my video and not, because it may not be as bad as, I don't know. Okay, I'll see you later. Thanks for coming.